Okay, so we're going to start by coming onto our backs for a few moments. And we're just going to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. So just close down the eyes, soften the face, and gently bring the hands to rest wherever it's comfortable. And maybe just sigh out the first 2 or 3 breaths. Just bringing yourself into the practice, sighing out some quite amazing qualities. It's just like letting go. So we're going to do a bit of yin to start with, maybe a bit more than usual, and then we'll go into a slightly more dynamic flow. So just notice how your body's feeling. Maybe give yourself a little scan, starting from the feet. Just noticing the sides of the feet resting on the mat. Just see how that feels. Nice. Any discomfort. Just slowly moving your awareness to the knees. Noticing the knees away from the body. And just being mindful of any pains. Maybe adjust the feet if you need to. Just slowly moving your awareness to the hips now. You take a little rock from side to side, that's absolutely fine. And just notice how the pelvis, the hips, and the lower back are feeling. So just take them together for the moment. You can bring the hands wherever it's comfortable. Just notice the breath all the way in, all the way out. Just enjoy that sensation. It's good to have these few moments just coming into the breath. It's something that we do all the time voluntarily without really paying much attention to it. When you bring your awareness into the breath, you realize just how truly amazing it is, how important it is to control that breath, deepen that breath, to create space. And just notice the belly rise as we breathe in. Notice the ribs expand. Just see what happens as we breathe all the way out. And just slowly moving your attention into the heart and the chest. And again, just noticing that lift as we inhale. Slowly drawing down as we exhale. And at any time during the practice, your mind wanders and drifts. Don't worry, just slowly draw it back to the breath. Encourage mindfulness. I'm going to take a couple more breaths. When you're ready, let's slowly draw the knees in towards each other. So just take your time. Let's bring each knee into the chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. and a gentle rock from side to side. Just taking care of the lower back here. Come to stillness, and as you inhale, lift the forehead towards the knees and just shoot the fingers away from the body. And let's hold it here. Engage the core and breathe here for 3, for 2, for 1, and release. And just take 2 more with your own breath. Slowly bring the feet to the mat. Just coming to your normal position. We're going to bring the feet pressing into the mat, knees towards the sky. And bring the arms to the side. We're going to inhale as we lift the hips up, coming into bridge pose. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So feel a little bit activity, engage in the quads, engage in the glutes as well a little bit. And when you're ready, slowly exhale. Gently bring the hips back to the mat. And we're going to take that right foot, we're going to place it over the left thigh. And just naturally see where that right hip takes you. Not forcing anything. And if you want to just gently bring a bit of movement in with that right hand. Again, just taking care. And if you want to go deeper, you can intertwine the hands through and take them around the left shin or the left thigh. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. So just find your edge and just settle in for a few moments. Closing down the eyes. Just stay here for a few more breaths. If you need to make any changes, then do so. Just slowly settle back in. So just take a couple more breaths. And we're going to slowly release, but keep hold of that right foot with the left hand. And just see if you can bring it a little bit towards that left elbow crease. Whatever you're at, just go with it. And just open up that hip slightly. So you can take it into the right hand. We're just going to open out that right hip. And I want you to just slowly release and find the belt. So we're going to work into the hamstrings and the legs a little bit, just for a few moments. So I want you to get hold of your belt. I'm going to take it around the right foot. You can keep the left knee straight or the left knee bent, whatever is comfortable. Just bring both elbows to the mat. And we're going to slowly inhale as we bring that right leg towards the body. So we're opening out that right hamstring. Just stay here for a few breaths. Just find where you're at and just settle in. So just notice how it's feeling. Being aware of any pain. So we're going to stay for a bit longer. So if you want to make any adjustments, then do so. And we'll just settle in for a few more breaths. Just breathing in, breathing out. Just take a couple more breaths. Slowly release. And just take the boat away. And just squeeze that right knee into the chest. And let's rotate the ankle in both directions and flex and point the foot. I'm going to stay with the right side for the moment. So we're going to take that belt again and place it around that right foot. Take hold of the belt with the right hand. Place the left hand on that left hip. So we're trying to keep the pelvis fairly neutral. You know, just listen to your body, obviously. You don't force anything. And we're just going to slowly bring that right leg out to the right. So we're just opening up the thighs and the groin area, as well as that right hip. Just be careful. Quite a strong, deep stretch. This is actually a really good pose for opening out the legs, increasing that space, lengthening the muscles. I'm going to stay here for a little bit longer. If you need to come out slightly or go a little deeper, it's up to you. And just make the adjustments and settle in for a few more breaths. Try to keep that left hand on that left hip. Not using that stretch. And when you're ready, just take a couple more breaths, nice and deep, all the way in, all the way out. We're going to slowly come out of it. So just come out of it nice and safely. You can use the other hand to help if you want. And just release the belt. Just squeeze that knee in again. Take a few more rotations and flex and point. And we're going to come to the other side. So I'm just going to turn myself around. So this time we're going to bring that left knee towards us. And let's take the belt around the left foot. And this time you can keep that right knee bent or keep the legs straight. It's up to you. We're going to bring the elbows onto the floor just to give us a little bit of stability. And we're going to gently inhale that left leg towards the upper body. So just take a couple of moments to find where you're at. Just noticing any differences, noticing how it's feeling. And let's settle in for a few breaths. So we're going to stay here for a bit longer. So if you need to make any changes, you can do that. And let's settle in for a few more moments. When you're ready, slowly and safely release the belt, and let's just squeeze that left knee into the chest. Rotate the ankle in both directions. Let's flex and point. Nice. I'm just taking the belt again. I'm going to bring it around the left foot again, so towards the middle of that foot. You can keep the right knee bent, or you can straighten it. It's up to you. If you straighten it, it just makes it a little bit more challenging. So just go with what your body's feeling today. And we're going to slowly start taking that left leg out towards the left. So just take your time, find where you're at. Remember to keep breathing. And stay for a little bit longer, so if you need to make any adjustments, then you can do that. And let's stay here for a few more breaths. Again, just mindful of any pain. Notice how it's into your body. Let's just stay for a couple more breaths. When you're ready, slowly coming out of it, just move the belt to one side and squeeze that knee into the chest. Slowly bring that foot to the mat. We're going to bring both knees bent, feet flat. We're going to take that left foot and place it over that left thigh. No, the right thigh, sorry. And just see naturally where that left hip opens. You can stay here, or you want to go a little bit further, you can loop the hands through and take hold of the right shin or the right thigh. So you probably notice difference on this side. I tend to be a little bit tighter on my left. And that's absolutely fine. If you want to make any adjustments, you can, and we'll settle in for a few more breaths. When you're ready, let's slowly release, but just keep hold of that left foot and just use your hands however you want, really, to open out that left hip. You can work it into the leg, it's up to you. And then just slowly release it. And we're going to do a couple more poses. Just take your time. We're going to shoot both feet into the air and flex the toes and point. And you can mirror it with the arms and the hands and the wrists. And just rotate ankles and wrists in both directions. So let's just slowly open out the legs just for a few moments because we've already worked into them. So just notice how they're feeling. Maybe they feel that they've been stretched. You can take a little rock from side to side. And slowly draw the legs in and draw the knees in. And just give yourself a nice little squeeze. And we're going to stretch out nice and big. And let's bring the knees in. Just bring the feet flat on the mat. Bring the arms out wide. And we're going to lift the hips, shift them over to the right as we twist over to the left. So we're just going to be in our twists for a few breaths on each side. So we're going to do a couple more yin poses. So see if you can find where you're at today. You can make this a little bit more dynamic if you want. It's entirely up to you. Just take a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, slowly bring yourself back to center. Just notice how the body's feeling. And slowly lift the hips and move them over to the left this time as we twist over to the right. So we're breathing into that left side body. So again, it might be different on this side. That's absolutely fine. The twists are quite good for breathing into the space. They're quite a nice pose for the back as well. Just taking a few more breaths. When you're ready, slowly coming back to center. Just taking a few breaths here, just noticing how you're feeling. And if you want to, you can come into bridge pose and lift the hips up. Just breathe into it. For 3, 2, 2, roll over onto your belly. And just bring yourself onto the mat. I'm going to do a couple more yin poses. So you've got options here. If you want to stick with the yin, I want you to bring your elbows so they're underneath the shoulders. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. So this is a pose for the lower back. You can bring the hands together in prayer and just lift yourself up. So you're gently working into that lower back. If it's a bit uncomfortable, you can always come down slightly. It's your choice. If you want to do a more dynamic pose rather than the yin pose, you can bring the forearms out and you can lift the hips off and you can come into your forearm plank. So it's your choice. We're just going to stay here for a few more breaths. So if you need to make any adjustments, you can. So again, just taking care of the lower back here. If it is uncomfortable, then just loosen the pose. Just listen to your body. So we're almost there. Just take 2 more breaths together. When you're ready, slowly release. So we're going to come all the way to the mat. We're going to do one more yin pose. So I'm just going to explain it to you. So you're lying on your stomach. I want you to take the right arm out to the right. So bring it to 90 degrees if that's available. Have the palm facing the ground. You're going to bring your right cheek to the mat. So this pose is going to be working into the chest and the shoulders. And I want you to slightly lift off and bring your ribs towards the left side and take that right knee and I want you to bend it and I want you to bring that left leg up like so. So you're opening out that left hip and just bring the left hand down to the mat. So it's quite a strong pose. You'll feel it in the right shoulder. It's good for the chest. It's also working a little bit into the hips. Just take a look if you're not sure or if there's any problems. But essentially, we're bending the right knee towards the left. And we've got that left knee facing the sky. I really like this pose. It's really good for the shoulders. Let's just take a few more breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly come out of it. So just use the left hand to support you. And I want you to roll over onto your belly. And just take a couple of breaths here. Then when you're ready, we're going to do the other side. So we're going to take that left arm out, palm facing the mat. Shift your body over to the right. And the left knee is bent along the mat. And bring that right foot up with the knee like so. So we're working into that left shoulder a little bit more. Just take a few breaths. We'll be here for about 7 or 8 breaths. And when you're ready, let's slowly come out of it. So I want you to just roll away from that left shoulder. Take it nice and slow. Bring the hands underneath, and I want you to lift the hips up and bring yourself into your tabletop position. So we're going to take our cat-cow breath. So just work with your own breath as you inhale. I want you to tilt the pelvis towards the front of the body. Bring the shoulders in, take the gaze up, and exhale, reverse that motion. So let's take a few of these in our own breath. We've got about 15 minutes to go because I know we started about 3 or 4 minutes later as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to work into just a couple of sun salutations. We'll do a sequence and then we'll gently bring ourselves towards the mat. But as you do your cat-cow breaths, just notice how the body's feeling. Notice the spine. Try to create that space. Be mindful of any hinge point. We'll just take a couple more and we'll come back to our neutral spine. And I want you to slowly tuck the toes under and inhale as you lift all the way up into your downward facing dog. So just pedal the feet, bend the knees. We're going to inhale as we take the heels away, exhale to lower. Take 2 more with your own breath. We're going to take 3 lines breaths. Over and the triceps. If it's available, see if you can do 10 of these. You don't have to, just do what's right for you. And when you've done however many you want to do, but basically up to 10, I want you to take the gaze between the hands and slowly walk the feet towards the hands. Now we're going to come into our ragdoll for a few moments. So just hang out here, shake the head, nod the head. And I want you to find your point. So whether it's the toes, the shins, the thighs, and as you inhale, just lift the chest and straighten the arms. Exhale to lower. Just take a few more in your own breath. Be mindful of the legs and the spine, so do bend the knees if you need to. Just slowly come to stillness. And when you're ready, we're going to start coming all the way up. So just lead with the chest. Take the arms all the way up overhead. Come onto the tiptoes, nice big stretch. And release. And I want you to inhale as you lift the arms up. Take hold of the right wrist with the left hand. I'm going to stretch it over to the left. So breathe into that right side body for 3, for 2, for 1, and lift. And switch and take it over to the right. And just breathe into that left side body for 3, for 2, and 1. And release. And just bring yourself down. Come into your Tadasana. So bring your feet together if you want, or you can keep them a little bit apart. Now I want you to lift the toes up. Spread them out as you bring them back to the mat. We're just going to take the shoulders away from the ears, arms by the side. Let's just take 2 nice big breaths out. And we're going to inhale to rise. Exhale, fold forward from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale as you step back into plank pose. And we're going to hold plank pose a little bit longer now. So really working into it here. Engage the core, breathe in, breathe out. Now you can stay here or you can bend the elbows and just work into the triceps like so and lift. And when you're ready, let's all take a deep inhale and exhale. Let's lower down through chaturanga. Open the heart. Come into downward facing dog. Just take a nice deep breath. And if you want to, you can lower the elbows and lift. Lower and lift. So just take maybe 5 or 6 if you're doing this. And all together, nice deep inhale. Exhale as we gaze between the hands, step or walk feet to hands. We're going to inhale as we lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, gaze to the sky. Exhale to release. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to come into chair pose. So if you need to make any adjustments, please do so. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale as we dip and sweep. Coming into chair, engage the core, press the feet into the mat. You can lift the heels off if you want to go a little bit deeper. Take it within your body today. So breathe in, breathe out. Work into the quads. Take one more inhale. Exhale to release. Fold it towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's step back into plank pose. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale as we bend the elbows, chest comes forward. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to inhale that right leg in the air. Exhale, bend the knee, bring the right foot between the hands. We're going to drop that left knee, stabilize that left shoulder as we twist over to the right. Shoot the right arm towards the sky. Option to lift that left knee. So remember to stabilize that left shoulder blade. So we're not sinking into it. It's nice and strong. Press that left hand into the mat. Just take a couple more breaths here. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release the hand to the mat. And we're going to shoot that right leg all the way back into the air. Three-legged dog. Hold it here. Nice deep breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale as you bring the right foot between the hands. Keep the back knee lifted as we come into our low lunge. So remember to feel it in the back leg as well. I'm going to bring the arms to cactus arms. And we're going to twist over to the right. Come through center and let's take it over to the left. And let's come back to center. I want you to bring the hands to the waist and just shift that left foot in slightly as we straighten that front leg. Bring the hands behind, shoot the fists towards the mat as we bring the shoulders in together. Open the heart and exhale as we come forward into humble warrior. Now we slowly release the hands on the exhale and just bring them towards the mat. Just gently bend that right knee as we lift that left leg into the air for our standing splits. You've got the option of releasing the hands, one or both, onto that right leg. It's entirely up to you. You have a little go. And exhale, release the hands to the mat. We're going to bend that right knee as we bring that left foot back down. We're going to shoot that right leg in the air, coming into three-legged dog. Option to stay in dog or come forward into three-legged plank and work through a three-legged chaturanga. And let's come back into downward facing dog. You can stay here, or you can lift that right leg in the air again. You can stack the hips, or you can wild thing. So make this as dynamic as you want. It's your choice. If you're in wild thing, do it with honesty. Lift the hips, open the chest. And let's come back into downward facing dog. And let's take 3 lion's breaths here. You can go for dropping the elbows, working the triceps. You can do 5 of those. But if you are doing them, remember to keep the dog shape. Breathe into the back, breathe into the pelvis. Let's take 1 more inhale. Exhale as we gaze between the hands, step or walk, feet to hands. We're going to inhale, we lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. And release. So I'm just keeping an eye on the time. Let's take a few breaths there. We've got about maybe 5 minutes to go. So we're okay. We're going to come into chair pose again. So adjust the feet, do what you need to do. We're going to inhale as we dip and sweep. Remember to draw the inner body in, so like you're zipping up through that midline, so nice and strong. You can make an adjustment if you want to lift the heels, go a little bit deeper. It's up to you. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale to fold. Take the hands towards the mat, bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's step it into plank. Press the hands into the mat, draw the heels away. Engage the core as we exhale to lower. Remember to bring the chest forward rather than taking the elbows back. Come into your downward facing dog. Gonna inhale that left leg in the air. Bend the knee, bring the left foot between the hands, drop the right knee. Let's stabilize that right shoulder blade now. So take your time, really feel it sucking into the body. Bring the left arm up. Option to lift that right knee. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, release that left hand. Shoot that left leg all the way back up with your 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, bring the left foot between the hands, and come into your low lunge. So keep the back knee lifted if it works for you. And we're going to slowly twist over to the left and twist over to the right. And let's come back to heart center. We're going to shuffle that right foot in slightly as we straighten that left leg. Bring the hands behind, shoot the fist towards the mat as we open the heart, coming into humble warrior. Just take 1 more breath. And exhale, release the hands, just take them to the front of the mat. I'm going to slowly bend that left knee as we bring that right leg in the air for our standing splits. And again, you've got the option of releasing the hands around that left leg. Don't worry if you fall or wobble. We're going to slowly bring the hands back to the mat. Gently bend that left knee as we drop that right foot back. And we're going to shoot that left leg in the air. You can come into dog or you can flow through 3-legged plank and 3-legged chaturanga. And let's come back into down dog for 1 last time. You can stay here or we can hover the elbows 5 times. So we're working into the triceps when we're doing this. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, gaze between the hands, step or walk, feet to hands. We're going to inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, gaze up. Exhale to release. Okay, I think we've got a couple more minutes because I know we're running over slightly. So we're just going to bring the feet mat distance apart. Bring the hands to heart center. And just slowly start lowering yourself into your yogi squat. You can stay here, or you can have a little go at crow pose. It's entirely up to you. So whatever you're doing, just bring yourself into your final Shavasana in a few breaths. When you're trying your crow pose, you want the knees to kind of be hovering towards the tricep armpit area. If you find that they're too close to the elbows, then you're maybe not there just yet. And let's all slowly bring ourselves to the mat, into our final Shavasana. And we'll just be here for about a minute or so. So when you're ready, let's start deepening the breath. I'm going to slowly start wriggling the fingers and the toes. And start rotating the ankles and the wrists. Slowly bring the legs together and just bring each knee into the chest. Nice little squeeze. And have a nice big stretch as well. And when you're ready, slowly bring yourself up to your comfortable cross-legged position. So nice and safe. Just keeping the eyes closed and the face soft. We're going to bring the hands to heart center and we're going to end with our 3 clearing breaths. Slowly bringing the thumbs up to the third eye. I want to thank you for today's practice. I want to thank you for joining me on this journey over the last few months. We've all had a journey together over the lockdown times. The inner light in me will always honor the inner light in you. Thank you so much for today's practice. Thanks, guys. That wasn't too bad. We went over about 3 or 4 minutes.
That was great. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone. See you next week. I'll drop you in the.
Okay, thanks.